Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. They're really not beating the accusation now, are they? I and many others have made the accusation targeting the left that they seemingly have no ability to critically think and certainly no ability to question authority. They just fall in line with whatever the narrative is, right? The meme is, they're the lifeless gray NPC that just inserts the next talking point chip into their motherboard and just repeats the establishment talking point. It's just this blanket default to authority that we constantly see. How dare you question the official narrative, you Republican mega extremist? It's always the same thing, and boy do I have the perfect example. What I'm about to show you is exactly what's wrong with leftist-style thinking. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, I'm sure you guys have seen the news. Another horrible tragedy has occurred. A Black Hawk helicopter somehow collided with a commercial passenger flight. It's absolute devastation, a horrible tragedy. My heart goes out to all the people who are affected. But obviously after something like this happens, it's time to start asking the right questions. It's time to get to the bottom of what occurred here. And that seems to be exactly what Trump is doing. He's responding quite reasonably, I'd say, and for some reason, the left is immediately spiraling into a full-blown meltdown. Take a look at this Truth Social post. Donald Trump writes, "The airplane was on a perfect and routine line of approach to the airport. The helicopter was going straight at the airplane for an extended period of time. It is a clear night. The lights on the plane were blazing. Why didn't the helicopter go up or down or turn? Why didn't the control tower tell the helicopter what to do instead of asking if they saw the plane? This is a bad situation that looks like it should have been prevented. Not good." Seems like a perfectly benign statement to me. The president is asking questions. What happened here? This seems quite preventable. Why didn't the air traffic controllers divert the aircrafts away from each other? Why didn't the pilots notice that they were about to collide? And of course, instead of having the conversation, instead of addressing the issues that Donald Trump is raising, the Trump derangement syndrome left immediately jumps into their usual hysterics, screeching about conspiracy theorists and fear-mongering, and of course, somehow blaming Donald Trump. We've got this BS condescending post. Amy McGrath writes, "This is not what our president should be doing or saying right now." Really? I mean, what is he supposed to say? We've also got former Congressman Joe Walsh, who now spends most of his time running a woke podcast grift, seething over the Trump post as well. "This is not what the president of the United States should be doing right now. Not now. And if you can't understand why this is not what he should be doing right now," how many times are you going to say not now, buddy? Holy crap. "Then I feel sorry for you. My God, he is such an utterly horrible human being." Really? What is this vain outrage? But you see how it falls right in line with what I mentioned in the intro, right? Question authority, question the establishment, and all of a sudden I guess you're a bad person. And really I think the top reply nailed it. Actually, this is exactly what a president should do. Be vigilant, critical, and get to the bottom of things. Exactly. But of course that's not what the leftoids are looking for. No, I guess they're looking for more of the Barack Obama approach. Our hearts break for the families who lost loved ones in the tragic plane helicopter crash at DCA. Send our prayers, first responders, yada yada yada, which I guess is all fine and dandy. It sounds nice, but it doesn't address anything. It's just an empty comment from a politician. The typical thing that you'd have your staffer write. Honestly, I don't know if I would call this leadership. I mean, where's the demand for answers? There is none. I guess because these leftoids are living in a delusional world where it's totally normal for planes to just fall out of the freaking sky. But where it starts to get really hypocritical is once we start to look at the second approach here, right? The Democrat MO, predictable behavior. Start off with the empty political slogans, and then of course make it political instantly. Yeah, I guess this is what Democrats are looking for. Empty political slogans from their politicians, and then attempting to blame it all on Donald Trump. We've got this genius on X who writes, "Prevented? You did this at real Donald Trump. On your second day, you fired the head of the Transportation Security Administration, fired the entire Aviation Security Advisory Committee, froze hiring of all air traffic controllers, and fired 100 top FAA security officers. Oh, so I guess it's Donald Trump's fault now, right? Apparently, Donald Trump asking questions is morally reprehensible, and if you can't see that, you're a bad person. But instantly lying and pushing garbage partisan propaganda and politicizing a tragedy to blame this administration that's been in office for a week and a half, yeah, that's totally appropriate and acceptable. Holy frickin' moly. And like I just mentioned, what really makes it even worse is that they're lying. What I just read to you is a complete and total fabrication of the left. Trump didn't fire 3,000 air traffic controllers. He fired a bunch of bureaucrats. It's almost as if they're making the claim that Donald Trump fired all the air traffic controllers and so there was no one there, but there were air traffic controllers on the scene doing their job and it happened despite them. So obviously it has nothing to do with Donald Trump firing a bunch of useless bureaucrats. No, I think rather we should probably be going in the direction that Donald Trump was taking us into, that there might have been some incompetence at play here. What happened should be investigated because it seems as though it would have been totally preventable. And that's where we get to the part of the conversation that I think the left really doesn't want to have. Ding, ding, ding. Those infamous 3 letters. DEI. And of course, the internet's very good at collecting receipts. And as per usual, the receipts are popping up. Yeah, I'd say going in this direction makes a whole lot more sense. This might be more part of the problem. The Biden administration was running a woke DEI hiring program under Pete Buttigieg's leadership. FAA launches recruitment campaign for workers with severe intellectual disabilities, psychiatric problems, and physical issues to hit woke DEI targets. Thousands of highly qualified applicants have been rejected, not because they weren't experienced, not because they weren't the best people for the job, but because they were the wrong race. FAA turned away qualified air traffic controllers based solely on race. Yeah, maybe the conversation we should be having is on this topic instead, how Biden's FAA turned air traffic control hiring into a DEI quota system. In fact, there's even a class action lawsuit involving 900 air traffic controllers who claim that they were discriminated against in the hiring practices. Take a look at this.
Representing Mountain State's legal foundation as part of a class action on behalf of 900 plus would-be air traffic controllers. And so we brought this suit based on the FAA's change in its hiring practices. So it used to be that they would score a pre-employment test and it would be based on merit. And all of our clients passed with flying colors. Many of them passed with 100% on this test. And the FAA decided that the pool of air traffic controller applicants was too white. And so they flushed that initial test and they adopted a biographical assessment, which you can already hear as an ominous term for a air traffic controller test. And unfortunately, our clients didn't pass that. And we allege that the FAA changed the test in order to gerrymander the racial.
Yeah, they were too busy playing identity politics instead of hiring the best people for the job. And of course, we saw the same thing in LA with the woke firefighters. And now it seems like we might be seeing it again. I'm not saying definitively that that's what happened, but it certainly makes a whole lot more sense than Donald Trump fired all the air traffic controllers the moment he got hired, and that's why this happened. How absolutely ridiculous. But of course, the left doesn't want to have that conversation. No, they just want you to shut up and appeal to authority. Don't question any of the policies. Don't question any of that. Don't look into the class action lawsuits, the hiring practices. Don't look at this page right over here that shows the National Outreach Program for Diversity and Inclusion, the People with Disabilities Program, PWD, that ensures that people with disabilities have equal federal employment opportunities. The FAA actively recruits, hires, and promotes, retains, develops, and advances people with disabilities, people with hearing issues, people who are blind, people who are missing extremities, partial paralysis, complete paralysis, severe intellectual disability, psychiatric disability, and dwarfism. They prioritized rooting out ableism in their hiring practices for very important life or death jobs that require a high level of ability and competence. Being able is very important in the recruitment process here, or at least you'd think, but no, of course not. Woke DEI nonsense is at the top of the priority because they have race quotas that they need to target. I don't know, maybe, just maybe, we should be questioning the status quo. I don't think Donald Trump's a bad person for challenging these clearly flawed woke systems, but I'm not sure the same can be said for these leftoids who are clearly politicizing a horrible tragedy, promoting nonsense conspiracy theories, and feigning moral outrage at the idea that the president would show actual leadership. How absurd. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.